Hey everybody, this is CPR43 with a brand new update for you guys. So, I'm incredibly sorry once again for leaving you guys and, keeping you waiting for a new update. Things are just going absolutely nuts, and I know I'm kind of sounding like a tape recorder going over and over and over about why I'm not putting updates out more often. But the truth is that it's always the same thing. It's because school's going on. I'm in grade 12 right now, so things are a little bit more busier, and right now things are a little bit more complicated because with one of my courses that I'm taking right now, it's my religion course. I'm doing a little project which you have to do in order to graduate. It's called Faith in Action. It's a 40-hour volunteer project, which basically you have to find a place to volunteer at, which is a nonprofit organization, and volunteer there for 40 hours in between certain times. I just started there. Today's Saturday, November 28th. So it was yesterday on Friday that I actually just started volunteering. I'm volunteering at the food bank. I got one of my buddies there working with me as well. So that's kind of nice to have somebody there. And we're working in the morning for 3 hours. So it's everything's going great. But the reason it took me so long to get an update out was because was having a hard time finding placement. I wanted to go one place, then I wanted to go another place. Finally, I found the food bank just in time for the deadline, and now here I am. So that's all out of the way, but that's just kind of letting you guys know what was going on there, and I hope you guys understand. So, anyways, let's get started with the update. Not a whole lot happening really with the layout, the locomotives, and so on. It's just what's right here, and then I have a little story dealing with myself and 1GZ Power. We actually had quite an experience the last night. He was able to come down, which was about 2 weeks ago. So that was actually the same time I posted a video of 1GZ Power's CN Atlas C40-8s going by on the layout there. So yeah. Anyways, let's get started. So I finished up the little pilot block for the rear of the GP9. So fairly simple assembly. I got the CA glue that I wanted, and it's the exact same stuff I've been using for almost a year now. No, it'll be March. It'll be a year. So that's all finished up. Now I just have to get it onto the GP9. First, I have to create the little coupler box that goes around the coupler, and then I mount the pilot block to that. The problem is that little coupler box that you create, those are big time pain in the ass to do, and so I need a little bit of motivation to get that done. So that's kind of why I'm not really getting things done, is because some of these things require some motivation, and right now I just don't have it. So it'll get done. It will get done, as some things will at some point, and yeah. So that covers that, and now we can move on to another thing here, a little bit of a sad story here, as of course, I'm pretty sure you know what this is. This is the sound decoder from the ES44. Yes, it is. It's the Soundtrax IM1000 decoder from CP8726. Unfortunately, I finally decided to pull it out because it was acting up again. That night that 1GZ Power came down, it was working fine, and then it started acting up. It was doing the same thing I talked about it was doing at the open house. It would fire up, and then it would quit and completely short out most of the layout. And we were kind of blaming 1GZ Power for a little bit there, and then I realized, nope, that's mine. That's all mine. Sorry, man. So finally decided to take it out. I put in the non-sound decoder that I actually got. I got an extra non-sound decoder from 1GZ Power when he gave me all those decoders before Super Train there. So really appreciate him doing that again. So that really came in handy, and I just put that decoder into the ES44. So non-sound, unfortunately, but there's nothing I can do about it. It's still kind of acting up, so I'm assuming it might be something to do with the motor, maybe as well. I know one of the club members had suggested that at the open house when it was acting up, so it could be the motor. I don't know. So yeah, that's there. I got the speaker in there as well with my lock sound speaker that I picked up at Super Train. So those two are protected, are still usable, and everything else. So you guys can take a look right there. So that's that. And now we can move on to our very interesting experience that we had. So it was a normal Tuesday evening, typical for Lethbridge. It was pretty windy. It's very typical for November and this season because we have our crazy Chinook winds that are usually averaging at about, 100K. So, yeah, welcome to Southern Alberta. Hope you enjoy. So, basically, it was that kind of evening. 1Gs of Power was able to come down. We had a tree clinic at the club and everything else, so everything seemed normal. You could hear the wind from inside the club and so on. So, yeah, pretty typical. And we stayed in the club till about 9:30. Then we left. 1Gs of Power usually gives me a ride home when he shows up, so he'll give me a ride home. We'll kind of chat and whatnot, and then finally I decide to go in, and then he goes off to Medicine Hat. So everything seemed normal. We got out, and it was a normal evening. Everything was fine, and we got onto one of the main roads there that leads us to that takes us to the west end of Lethbridge, where I live. And it started raining a little bit, so it's like, okay, yeah, this seems a little bit typical for November, I guess. And I actually made a little bit of a comment right there, and this will play on later. So I mentioned that, oh, you can't really tell the weather patterns in Southern Alberta. It can be, weird, and you could have like sunshine 1 minute, then you'll have a thunderstorm the next. So, kind of laughed at that, and we moved on. It was just a little bit of raindrops hitting the windshield and so on. We got onto the main road. Basically, it connects West Lethbridge to East Lethbridge. It crosses the Old Man River. It's Whoop Up Drive. We got on Whoop Up Drive. We're going down. Then all of a sudden, there's this huge white wall of hail that came right at us. You didn't even see it coming. It just was a little bit of rain. Then all of a sudden, whoop, it was nuts. I'm just kind of cringing there for a little bit. And it was like, geez, it was scary almost for a little bit there. So it was pretty intense, believe it or not. And then all of a sudden, we had just got onto the bridge crossing the Old Man River, and all of a sudden, there was this flash of light. There was actually a lightning strike, and believe it or not, I'm pretty sure it hit the Lethbridge Viaduct, or the high-level bridge, and that's only like a little bit more than maybe 500 feet away from where we were. And the hail was so loud you couldn't even talk to each other almost. And when the lightning hit, the bang of thunder was so loud you could hear the thunder in the vehicle while it was hailing. And not only that, I'm not sure if 1Gs of Power felt it, but I actually felt the vehicle vibrate just a little bit when that bang happened. It was so crazy. Like you're going at around 90 kilometers an hour, and there's hail just absolutely pounding the windshield, and then there's this big bang of thunder. This is November, people. It was so crazy. I couldn't believe it. 1Gs of Power was just sitting there absolutely stunned. Wow. And it went on like this for another 20 minutes or so, and then it turned to snow. It was nuts. So it was the craziest night of my life, believe it or not. 1Gs of Power mentioned it in his update. Speaking of that, go check out 1Gs of Power's update, please. It's a big one, but it's very nice. It's very interesting. You have to go check it out. He also got some great video from our time at the club. And then he also posted a recent update where he got his new GMD1. You can go check that out. And also, he also talks about some new plans to his layout. So if you haven't watched those already, please do, please do. Great guy. And I really hope you can subscribe to him, or at least show some support some way or another. So yeah, really crazy night, and wow. So I think that's about it with my story, guys. This went a little bit longer than I expected, but I'll end it here. I hope you enjoyed the update, guys, and I'll talk to you next video. This is CPR43, and good luck.